Good evening, folks. Dustin Walden here with True North Real Estate Advisors, and we're going to discuss open houses and prospecting today. Open houses, what are they? They provide you an opportunity to market a listing at a typically lower cost than other avenues of marketing will cost you. Where usually you'll probably only have your time invested, which is still quite a bit, especially if you're talking real estate. Our time is very important. But again, in terms of dollars spent, this is a very cost-effective marketing tool. The idea behind an open house is to provide opportunities for anyone in the market or not even in the market yet to view the listing at their own leisure without feeling like they're being pushed upon by you or without feeling like you're trying to sell the home. Though technically you're not really there for an open house to sell the home that day. You're really there to potentially get new clients. So if you run an open house properly, you're hopefully going to pull away 2 or 3 new potential buying clients from that. The payoff, like I said, is potentially getting new client information, not just to sell the property. It's a great chance for newer agents to get their feet wet, or if you're an agent that doesn't have a whole lot of current business going on, you've kind of found yourself in a slump, it would be a great avenue to maybe reach out to some other more seasoned agents or busier agents that have a lot of listings and don't really have the time to necessarily do their own open houses. They're out doing their own things. Maybe you could reach out, team up with them, and start doing some open houses for someone else's listings. Open houses also allow you to network, teaming up with lenders or other people in your network as far as in our community, home inspectors, things like that, title companies. A lot of lenders that we have that are preferred lenders here will help you out with your marketing material. They help you out with refreshments, things like that. And to them, it's a win-win because it allows them to see the same potential clients that you're potentially seeing as well. So it kind of works out well for both partners there. Build your database. Make sure you have a sign-in sheet to retain guest information. So make sure that everybody that comes through the door, you want to have them sign in on the sign-in sheet with their information, email address, phone number, things like that. And try to make sure to relatively soon after the open house, not necessarily the same day, but maybe the next day or so, follow up with them to allow them, not necessarily allow them, but allow you the opportunity to reach out to them and thank them for attending your open house. When to do an open house. Typically weekends are your best days for open houses. I'm a Sunday person. If I'm doing an open house, Sundays allow me more time to efficiently be able to get out on a Friday and Saturday, door knock the neighborhood, put my signs out, market the open house the way I need to. This allows me, because you're going to be spending most of the Sunday. That's when most people want to get out, view their homes. They don't have a whole lot going on. It's a family day. Why not go out and visit some open houses and check those out? Let's see. Do your groundwork, like I said, door knocking the neighborhood, because if you're door knocking on somebody that's living near the home that you're doing an open house with, those are a lot of times going to be where you get your people that want somebody in the neighborhood. So maybe they know somebody that's in the market and want them beside of them or in the same neighborhood as them. So you may be able to pull a potential client that way. So door knocking is very key when you're putting out your open house stuff. But with that being said, you can do an open house whenever. If you want to do an open house on a Friday, there's no limitations to when you can do it. Sundays just happen to be my preferred days. Not a whole lot left, but other key notes to think about when you're doing an open house is social media marketing. Try to start about a week out with your post, letting everybody know that your open house is coming up Sunday or whatever day it may be. You don't want to start it out 2 or 3 weeks out and start getting everybody confused. So preferably, I like to go about a week out, start your marketing on social media, let everybody know on all your platforms what you're doing. Refreshments, always have snacks. Adult and kid-friendly snacks are always great to keep on hand. Juice, water, soda, can't go wrong with cookies, am I right? Now, with that being said, though, try not to have anything that's going to be, especially if you have a house that has carpet or something, you don't want to bring anything that's going to be staining, like if you were to accidentally spill it. Not saying that I've ever done that, but there is potential to have that hazard and you don't want to be on the other end. No grape juice. Interact. Stay available. With that being said, if you're in the home, you've got guests coming in and out, you don't want to necessarily be stalking somebody, being clingy, but if somebody has questions, make sure you're there to answer the questions. You don't want to be off outside on your telephone when somebody's wanting to ask, what's the square footage, or what's the access to this room, or how can I get in the attic or something. You don't want to be unavailable, especially with potential buyers that are going to want to make an offer on the home. So that is going to pretty much cover the open house portion. So we're going to jump into some prospecting. But before we do, does anybody have any open house questions? Not you in the back. Nope, good. All right. So we're going to move forward. The prospecting, the process of finding new contacts and turning them into potential leads in order to grow your business. So that's basically what prospecting is. There are many ways to prospect. We're going to go over a few of those today, just 5 or 6 to kind of touch on. We're not going to go over every single one that's available, but get creative, do your own things, find out which one works for you, or what group of these actually work for you. So my number one way to prospect is very cost effective. Door knocking. You've got farming a specific neighborhood. So if you've got a neighborhood picked out that you're going to want to door knock, make sure you set aside some time. Set a specific time frame. You're going to door knock for an hour, 2 hours, or you're going to door knock, say, I'm going to door knock the entire neighborhood, 30 homes, 40 homes, whatever it may be. But make sure you have that set out and you stick to it. Write it down. Do it. Let's see. Use a script. Like if you're in the neighborhood, say, hey, I've got some buyers that, we were looking at a house that, just closed a few months ago and they didn't get a chance to, put their offer in on that home, but right now they're still wanting to stay in this neighborhood. Do you know of any of your neighbors or maybe yourself that's potentially looking to sell? It's a great script to use whenever you're door knocking. You don't really have any potential reason to be door knocking other than, hey, trying to get new clients. So use that script. Hey, I've got some potential buyers that are looking in the neighborhood. They have before, ready to make an offer. Would love to maybe see if you know anybody that would want to sell in the neighborhood. Networking events. Attend local events, Chamber of Commerce events, golf outings, things like that. Just anything social. You've got in this area, a lot of people do a lot of the like animal shelter networking events, things like that. So any chance you have an opportunity to be around like-minded people or just anyone in general that you can make sure that they know what you're doing, that you're in the business of selling homes, just make sure that you're always leaving that door open for business. Mail outs, sending out postcards, whether you have a listing or just sold, or if you're just wanting to introduce yourself or your team to the neighborhood, there's several different companies out there that will allow you to use their information and just put in what neighborhood you're going to go to and just fill out like basically a postcard with your information on it. It'll send straight out to hundreds, thousands of homes, whatever it may be. That is a great marketing tool. It's something that is big and bold and has your information on it. And 9 times out of 10 they may throw it in the trash, but all it takes is that one time, one customer to come back to you and see that and remember that, and you're in the game. 4, calling or messaging your sphere. This is my personal favorite. I'm very reliant on my personal sphere. I like to make sure that, if I know somebody personally, I want them to know that I'm in the business of real estate. I want to help them. You don't want to find out, when they're ready to buy or sell, you see them online or something. They tell you, oh, hey, I didn't know you were in the business. Make sure they know. Contact everybody you know and say, hey, this is what I'm doing. This is the business I'm in now. I would really love any referrals you may have, or I'd love your business if you're in the business to buy or sell. Make sure your sphere of influence knows. Social media, number 6, or number 5, social media, make sure you're visible on all of your platforms that you're on. So if you're on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, or X, or TikTok even, make sure everybody knows that you have, or what you're doing on all those platforms. Because you never know where you're going to find business on, especially in this day and age. We're a very social media savvy generation where everybody's, trying to come up with creative ways to sell themselves. So that's a very big platform these days to be able to use, is social media, to be able to get your brand known. So that's a big one. And probably the one that nobody likes to do is cold calling. Sounds terrible, can be. It is what you make it. Realistically, the worst you're going to be told is no, and 8 out of 10 times nobody ever picks up. So you're really just being negative about something that really shouldn't be negative about. I mean, all you're really doing is calling somebody saying, hey, can I get your business? This is what I'm doing. Most of the time they won't even talk to you, you're just going to hang up. But occasionally if you get that one client that's going to, stick with you and give you your information and sit down and have a conversation with you, that's a win. All right. In closing, try all these methods until you find one that works best for you and one that's more efficient for you. The only way you're going to grow your business is through prospecting, and through prospecting you're going to be able to lead down the road to referrals, repeat business, things like that. So yeah, with that being said, do we have any questions on prospecting? Okay, quiet crowd today. Awesome. Well, thank you guys. I appreciate you guys for tuning in to my Dustin talk today. Hope you guys have a great afternoon, and we'll see you at the award ceremony tomorrow.